YouTube, Ozzy, in the Goat House is back with our first member mock draft of the offseason where you play GM of your favorite team or whatever team you want here. This is actually live while I'm recording this here. We've tried a few of these earlier today. It's had some issues, so this is the first one actually being uploaded as a video, but we're going to have several more of these. I'll talk about how you guys can get involved. It's going to be a lot of fun. 2 rounds, trades involved. Where you guys discussing a lot of these people in our Discord chat. We'll talk more about that. But using that website, walkthemock.com, which you see underneath me, if you do plan on signing up there, where you can join constant mock drafts, not just ours, anybody, or you can create your own. Use code GOATHOUSE for 20% off. Ends up being cheaper. Please subscribe to our channel, full NFL offseason content. Very important to follow our Twitter. You see our Twitter up there. Very important stuff with channel updates and NFL news updates, everything. So this, like I said, right as I'm recording this is live. This is going on now. The draft starts in 20 seconds. I was leaving spots available. I'm on the Texans. Shows my first name, but give me these Bears. Let me get these Bears here. They're available. Got a couple other teams available. But yeah, looks like we're going to the draft. You can create your own big board rankings, have those set for you. I didn't quite do that yet, but we're going to do several of these. Use the default their ranking system. That's fine. This is very cool. Walkthemock.com. Check it out. Link in the comments. Remember to use that code if you sign up this way. If you want to be, and we'll hold some through Twitter and fill empty spots, whoever signed up. But if you want to be sure thing involved in every single one of these that we do that turns into a video, you go to our Patreon. Link pin in the comments and in the description. Patreon.com/thegoathouse. This final tier gets you everything. Gets you in these, gets you all kinds of different stuff. And that Discord chat, which all these people that are already supporting us signed up through here, pretty much all of them, they are in our Discord chat right now, and they're discussing trades with each other. So yeah, they're all GMs. They're talking amongst each other and trying to figure things out if they want to trade. So you see all the names of the people that are drafting for each team here. So yeah, this is gonna be pretty fun. And I'm controlling the Bears here. Nobody took the Bears. I think we tried to do this earlier. Somebody had the Bears, but nobody took the Bears here. There's a few teams open, but I know a lot of you probably watching this video right now, and you're going to want to join this for the future. It's going to be a lot of fun. 2 rounds in this one. Maybe we can do more in the future. Trades involved again. It's the only site that has like user control or people around the world are controlling each team. I don't think there's another site like that, so it's very cool here. Again, link in the comments for anything you need. Twitter is useful. That Patreon is useful for this. And go to Walk the Mock. If you do plan on signing up, Goat House is the code that you would like to use, but that you need to use. But yeah, we got the Jaguars. Sam picking for the Jaguars. Wonder what he's gonna do here. It's gonna be a shocker if it's anything other than Trevor Lawrence here. But yeah, I'm looking at the Discord chat we have, which comes with that Patreon membership. A lot of these guys in there are in here right now, and they're going crazy right now. So expecting this to be Trevor Lawrence. He took his good old time there, didn't he? I mean, that's tradition. It's absolute tradition. Trevor Lawrence off the board to the Jaguars. There are sound effects, some pretty good ones here. I have it turned off here, but maybe we can get that going in the future. But yeah, some pretty cool sound options on here if you plan on playing along from your end, but you got to hear me talking on the video. So Jets are on the clock. Ryan is picking for the Jets here. No trades yet. We're only 1 pick through. No trades yet. No, these guys are discussing trades. But yeah, this is very cool. Very official looking here. Here's the board on the left. I believe when you get an incoming trade, it could show up here on the right. Yeah. But for the Bears, I'm picking 20 for the Bears. It's going to be interesting to see who's on the clock, on the board there. But yeah, Jets are on the clock, taking their good old time here. And yeah, if you want to sign up for the future, again, Patreon, you'll find a link in the comments there. But we got 45 seconds in running for the Jets. I would expect the pick. There it is. I was going to say, I would expect the pick to be Zach Wilson. But who knows? Maybe he's a Sam Darnold. He's going Jamar Chase, so he's a Sam Darnold guy. Maybe. The Jets got another pick. They can trade back up for a quarterback. But, taking a guy like Jamar Chase, who I like, top receiver in the class, I think that he's a fantastic player. I'm not a huge Sam Darnold guy, but maybe Ryan here, who's drafting for the Jets, is a Sam Darnold guy, and he wants to build around him. It's a possibility. We'll have to wait and see if they have plans for a quarterback there, but Jamar Chase is taken. And now the Dolphins are on the clock, of course. And minute 20, and maybe we expect the pick to be... they could have taken Jamar Chase. He's off the board. Could go Penny Sewell. Can go Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle. Maybe a trade back. We'll see what happens. Pick is in for the Dolphins. And Penny Sewell is the pick. So there goes Penny Sewell. And the Dolphins got their offensive lineman. So maybe they would have taken Chase if he was still there. So you see the different scenarios here, for the draft. And that's how it will be. It's realistic that something random, a trade happens or a random pick happens, throws everyone off, and everyone has to, this is realistic so far, and definitely not random. We'll see. And again, during the draft, we'll be live on day one. I'll be breaking it down kind of like this, but it'll be real. It'll be the real thing. So yeah, we'll have you covered through that. The Falcons and AJJ is on the clock, picking 4 for them. He is playing GM. Let's see what he's got here. Go quarterback. To me, they got to go quarterback. We'll see. Picks in. They got to go quarterback of the future here. But we're gonna find out what they go. Yeah, they go Zach Wilson. So Zach Wilson, he was still on the board. That was kind of the only shocker thing. We kind of felt like that Zach Wilson would be the second pick, but he was still on the board. The Falcons got to do it. They got their quarterback of the future. Maybe he sits a year behind Matt Ryan. Kind of be weird to see Wilson sit a year too as well, but that would probably what would happen in this scenario here. So Zach Wilson off the board. Junior picking for the Bengals. That is not our junior here at the Goat House, I don't believe. He's picking for the Bengals. 1:22 remaining. But the Bengals, Penny Sewell gone, Jamar Chase gone. Those were kind of their top options. So could we see our first trade? Could we see our first trade here? Maybe a trade back. Kyle Pitts? I would like the Kyle Pitts pick. In that offense with Joe Burrow, they already have receivers. They could have used another one because how much they used their receivers last year. Looking at AJ Green, T Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd being one of the better slot receivers in football. So they could value another receiver here because they're losing out on A.J. Green most likely here in free agency. And I'm sure we're going to do more of these after free agency's already kicked off kind of. So we got, it definitely changes things a bit too. So we'll see what happens here. But 23 seconds remaining for the Bengals. Surprised there wasn't a trade yet. We're only on pick 5, but I was expecting our trade to happen here. But Bengals taking their time here. They're definitely taking their time. Bengals pick. Thinking Kyle Pitts. Nope. Devontae Smith. Yeah, they want another receiver. So pairing him with Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. The other good thing, a guy like Boyd and Smith, they both can play inside and out. Boyd takes a ton of reps inside, though. But the Bengals beef up that receiver unit, I suppose. Well, I guess not like that. Devontae Smith, I guess some teams worry about, his thin frame. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, the Bengals grab him. So this draft is actually unfolding. Okay, as soon as the Jets decide they're in on Darnold, who are maybe not in on a quarterback at 2, which is possible, and they take Jamar Chase, it changes the entire draft. Every mock that you see is just wrong then. And that's the beauty of the NFL draft. The Eagles already, the pick is in, love it. because anything can happen then. It's just all unpredictable. One thing can change everything. But the Eagles take Jalen Waddle, so the top 3 receivers are already off the board by this point. Eagles take Alabama wide receiver. Jalen Waddle are going to pair with Jalen Reagor and Travis Fulgham. They got that. They're building the speed at that receiver unit, so they're going to stick with Jalen Hurts. Some think maybe a quarterback here, but they go Jalen Waddle, and Jalen made the pick. Spelled his name. He's got the same exact first name there, so that was interesting. But maybe a believer in Jalen Hurts and Jalen Waddle, Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Reagor, and the GM's Jalen right now. So yeah, there we go. So 3 receivers off the board by pick 6. See how important those receivers are these days. But then we got the Lions on the clock at pick 7. And, the draft has unfolded a little interesting so far. Definitely it's realistic, even though I'm kind of a Zach Wilson at number 2 guy, but you never know. But the Lions, I'm surprised we haven't seen our first trade yet, because we can trade in these mocks. Can create trades here. But the Lions probably wanted to go. I thought Devontae Smith was a good fit. Obviously, if a guy like Jamar Chase is there, you take him. They're sitting in an interesting spot. This could be a trade back. It's probably why the clock is. That's why they're taking some time here. Cameron picking for the Lions, probably looking to trade back and gain some more picks here, because who they wanted, I'm just speculating here. Who they wanted might be off the board here. So we'll see what they do. 13 seconds. Pick is in. Pick is in. The Lions are selecting Justin Fields. So they go quarterback here. They traded for Jared Goff, but you got a guy like Justin Fields sitting there, and they felt maybe too good to pass here. Cameron pulls the trigger, takes Justin Fields. And, if Goff doesn't work out, Panthers pick's already in. If Goff doesn't work out, you got Justin Fields, and you might be taking over the job anyways. Panthers are selecting Trey Lance. So, they hurried up with that one. So it looks like the Panthers were eyeing Trey Lance, quarterback from North Dakota State, right, and that's Andreas there picking for the Panthers. So he wanted Trey Lance all the way, it felt like. Trey Lance. It's going to be interesting to see the order of those quarterbacks. We kind of feel like Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson. But then after that, you're looking at Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and even Mac Jones. We don't really know the order they're going to come off. So we see how they came off the board there. We got the Broncos picking. What is that, Jay? Jay's picking for the Broncos. Could go cornerback here. Could go Mac Jones. Could trade back. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get any trade backs. Kind of like last year. Last year's draft, there was so much hype around, a bunch of trades are going to happen, and just nothing was happening. So sometimes you see that happen. A guy's just there, and you're like, I don't want to trade back too far. I just want to get my guy. So I'm assuming that's what's going on here. They were in the Discord. They were talking about all kinds of trades they were setting up. So I guess they fell through. I do believe that actually a trade went down they're talking about. So the Lions and the Colts actually traded 21 to the Lions and a future first to the Colts along with some other picks here. So that was interesting. So, they've already made a trade there. So that I knew something wasn't happening, but that happened. Usually don't see a trade happen that early before they're on the clock, but possible. The Broncos taking their time here. Jay going to make the selection. I'm going to say it's probably a corner. Caleb Farley seems to be a popular pick around there. And the Broncos are selecting Gregory Rousseau. So they go with a pass rusher there. There's been rumors that they could decline Von Miller's option. So if they go ahead and decline that, then maybe they need a pass rusher like Gregory Rousseau has ridiculous upside. The length, his freakish athletic ability, can play off the edge inside. So, the Broncos can kind of move him around. You remember they got rid of Jarrell Casey. Shelby Harris is a free agent. I think they'll get him back. But, again, once free agency hits and some guys start bringing, deciding on Von Miller's option, which shouldn't be too long from now. We're going to run through a bunch of these drafts, so we'll see how things change there, and I'm sure we'll have scenarios with more trades at the top of the draft. But yeah, Rasu, ton of upside there. They grab him to pair with Bradley Chubb, and that is who goes to the Broncos at pick 9. Sean is picking for the Cowboys here at pick 10. Both those corners, those all three really. There's I think most people want to say Caleb Farley or Patrick Surtain, top corner, but J.C. Horn is right in the mix with them. And then we see a guy like Greg Newsome from Northwestern who's kind of creeping up boards, but we think we got a firm identity on who the top 3 are. So the Cowboys kind of get the pick from the all of those guys here, but Kyle Pitts is also still available. So see, maybe they're just too good to pass on here. Exactly. I would like that. I'm a big Kyle Pitts guy. Top 3 on my board. Can play, tight end from the inline position, slot, outside. It kind of makes him a receiver in his way, in a way. And the Cowboys got a couple tight ends, but you just get a lot better here. I mean, this unit is just so solid. If the Cowboys are going to go the distance, it's going to be because their offense is elite. And I was actually kind of predicting to be in that range last year, but injuries set that back. But if they stay healthy with a guy like Kyle Pitts, that's dangerous. The Giants picked pretty quickly here. They take Micah Parsons from Penn State, so he'll play inside linebacker in their scheme. What I like about this is Micah Parsons is a really good blitzer. You actually can play him off the edge as well. And the Giants get a good amount of pressure from their actual defensive front, their front 3. So adding a guy that can blitz most of the time and then can also rush off the edge, it makes sense. So Timothy picked for the Giants with Micah Parsons, who it sounds like could go around this. He's got a pretty big range, though. He can go earlier in this. There's been some rumors he can drop a little bit, so that's definitely an interesting prospect here. Cardinals are on the clock at 12, so that means we had a trade go down. The Cardinals and the 49ers made a trade. The Cardinals received pick 12 from the 49ers, obviously. The Niners 16, and they got a third-round pick, 15th overall in the third round, and then a 2022 fourth. Interesting trade. I think the Niners probably could have got a little more, but they didn't move back that far. But they probably could have got a little more. That's an interesting one. It's probably close to even, but I thought they could have got a little more. Again, a lot of these guys are in our Discord. They were talking about a lot of trades, and that's the first one up here that we got. So I'm thinking the Niners were trying to trade up. From what I gathered, the Niners were possibly trying to trade up to get a quarterback, maybe Justin Fields or Trey Lance, and that kind of didn't happen. Team stayed put and made the selection. So then the Niners, we might as well move back now, gain some picks, and still get another guy that's not a quarterback, maybe. Unless they're trading back. No, I don't think they were trading back for Mac Jones because the Patriots sitting there at 15. You don't really trade back for quarterbacks either. It's not something you do. You're kind of devaluing your quarterback. But the Cardinals are on the clock, so they had to come up to get somebody, and they took their time while doing it. But they had to get through the trade details and everything, so give them a break here. It was this Jacob picking for the Cardinals. Kwity Paye. Came up to get Kwity Paye. That's an interesting one. So traded up to get an edge. Here's the thing, though. I wonder if they can play, and this I'm acting like it's real. I'm wondering if they can play Kwity Paye at a 3-4 end spot because they do play it. They have a 3-4 scheme, obviously, and it looks like we have another trade, or two. But Kwity Paye, he can fit either one, but you can keep Chandler Jones, and if they get Hassan Reddick back, maybe they don't. Maybe he's planning on that. But I think you could play Kwity Paye at that on the defense line at the 3-4 end because he has the size and the strength, the power to do that. So the Cardinals do need to buff that defensive line. I'm not talking about the edge rushers. So that's a little bit of a surprise, but in a way, it can make sense. So the Lions traded up to 13. So we got the Lions are just making moves here. They traded 421. This is wild. They traded 421s, and then they traded that to the Chargers, and then the Chargers gained a third. The Chargers probably can get more out of that if the Chargers made a deal. And did the Chargers move? Chargers are at 16 now. That was the 49ers. So we got trades within trades here. So this is absolutely wild. But the Lions are on the clock. They already got Justin Fields, and they're about to make another selection. I guess that's what they would probably have to trade a little more to make this happen, but they got a load of picks, remember, while gaining Jared Goff. So that's something that's, I think, is possible because the Lions could, they put themselves in position to where they can do this. They can move up. So that's actually something that's possible. Maybe the trade details would actually be a little different, but the Lions move up to 13. The Jets move up to 14, so the Vikings have traded back. I mean, I thought we were going to see some trades in the beginning. Now they're really flowing in. Lions are selecting Rondale Moore. So Rondale Moore goes a little earlier than expected, and the Jets pick is in. I did want to talk about Rondale Moore, and I did want to talk about more of these trade details because this is wild right now. The Jets are taking Patrick Surtain, so the Jets trade up. So that kind of tells us they're in on Sam Darnold. So kind of backtracking here. The Jets at second overall took Jamar Chase, and that kind of threw the whole draft off. We see one realistic, I would still say Zach Wilson, but one different but realistic pick changes everything. See, these picks ends up changing everything, creates trades in spots where we didn't think trades were happening. But yeah, so the Jets, they do need corners pretty bad. So they trade with the Vikings, and future pick involved there. The Vikings move back to down to 23. The Vikings do trade back a lot, in the past, so possible. They're very realistic. The Lions surprise us with the Rondale Moore, but Rondale Moore could be another guy with a big range on where he could be drafted. The speed is ridiculous. The quickness, you just get him the ball any way possible. You just get him the ball. Everyone's looking for speed kills in today. It's always killed, but it kills in today's NFL. People are looking for that. I don't know if you've seen him recently, but he's been working out a ton. The guy looks jacked out of his mind. Put on some size, some strength. So maybe he lights it up at these workouts, upcoming workouts, and maybe he gets drafted a lot earlier than we expected. But the Jets did add Patrick Surtain, like we talked about. So Cameron already made moves. He's making some picks. Recapping some of these. Ryan made some moves as well. So the Lions took Justin Fields and Rondale Moore. The Jets have taken Jamar Chase and Patrick Surtain so far. Patriots are on the clock. Mac Jones is still available. I think that would have to be the pick here. But we're going to find out, and I'm picking for the Bears. I'm hoping Mac Jones might be available. We'll see what else is available, but I'm hoping Mac Jones might be. Maybe I should have traded up. I'm too busy talking about the draft. I probably should have traded up. Okay, we're alive. Elijah Vera Tucker. I like Vera Tucker. I think he's going to be a dominant. Yeah, they have him listed at interior offensive line. I think he's going to be a dominant guard. He can play tackle, and I think people are kind of getting caught in that too much that he filled in at tackle, and he played pretty well. But he's going to be a dominant guard. Like, he can be a Pro Bowl guard. 49ers take Rashawn Slater. So yeah, same thing with Rashawn Slater. Probably plays tackle. I think he can play tackle. I think just based on his frame, his length, I think he could be a really good guard. So the Niners, remember, they traded back, so they gained some picks, and they still got Rashawn Slater, who's getting some top 10 talk. So that's a pretty solid day. Again, I think the Niners could have got a little more in that trade. They only moved down a few spots, though, but that's very interesting. They still get Rashawn Slater. But they kind of backtracking to Colin taking Elijah Vera Tucker for the Patriots. I'm wondering in their case, I got set the trade offer. I'm wondering if in their case they play Vera Tucker at tackle. I'm trying to see my trade. No. We're not doing that. No, thank you, Eagles. Rejecting. So even minimize this. I got two screens up going right now. But yeah, Eagles with the poor offer to me. I wasn't accepting that. We're sitting there. Mac Jones is still on the board. Caleb Farley's still on the board. Christian Darrisaw still on the board. Very good left tackle. Rashad Bateman, impressive player, and had an impressive workout there. Kadarius Toney's still on the board. Yeah, we got a lot of good players still on the board, obviously. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is still on the board. Trevon Merrick, Jalen Phillips. I'm a huge Jalen Phillips fan. Jalen Mayfield, also like his game. I like him at right tackle. Could also play guard at a high level. Probably be ideal to make my own board there to help me out a little bit. But the Raiders, time running out. They're going to make their selection. And we'll see what it is here. Jalen Phillips, it could be. Jeremiah Usu-Karamoa. We'll see. Should be one of those. Wow, Levi Onwuzurike from Washington. That's an interesting pick. He's been getting a little bit of late first-round buzz. That's a Raiders pick. Let's be honest. That's a Raiders pick. We can't predict who the Raiders are going to take ever. No matter who their GM is, no matter who their coach is, we can't predict it. They are stressing the fact that they want interior pressure. They want more interior pressure, and that's where Levi comes into play there. He also can stop the run at a pretty high level. So, hey, it looks like a long shot maybe, but I think it's somewhat realistic there. So the Dolphins are picking again at 18. They picked Penei Sewell already. So you would think receiver, but a lot of receivers came off the board, but Rashad Bateman, Kadarius Toney still on the clock. Still on the board here while the Dolphins are on the clock. I'm picking for my Bears. I'm going to call them my Bears. 20th overall. That's coming up, so I'm excited about that. Caleb Farley still on the board here. Wow. Caleb Farley, J.C. Horn. Dolphins pick is in. Maybe just too good to pass. I got one of these guys up here. We'll see what they do. Christian Darrisaw, that's a good pick. So they went Penei Sewell and Christian Darrisaw, which it honestly probably sounds a little ridiculous. They went Penei Sewell, right? Yeah, I'm not losing my mind. But that could actually work out there because Penei Sewell, I think, if you're picking him that early and he's been a dominant tackle, that's the only flaw with this. I just play him at tackle. But if you look at how he blocks, the power he has, everything about him, he can be a dominant guard. So what I think they're doing in this scenario, is taking they're taking Penei Sewell, put him at guard. I think they'll put Robert Hunt, the other guard, I don't know. They have Eric Flowers as well, though. So that's the thing. But Christian Darrisaw probably can move to right tackle. Austin Jackson at left tackle. Maybe Austin Jackson, you can get better there. So maybe they're just putting him back on the bench. You're playing Darrisaw and Penei Sewell at tackle, Eric Flowers and Robert Hunt at guard. I mean, it's looking like, honestly, the sad news would be Austin Jackson probably getting benched already if this happened. But the good news is that offensive line's looking stacked. Looks like a dominant offensive line. It's probably Darrisaw playing right tackle. So it's definitely interesting. Washington is on the clock at 19. I'm afraid they're going to I probably should have made a deal with the Dolphins, and I'm too distracted right now. I shouldn't be controlling a team here, but all the spots weren't filled. So I would people watching this, been sent a trade offer. But people watching this probably going to join next time, so then I don't have to control a team. The Steelers just traded ahead of me to get Mac Jones, didn't they? I like that trade from the Jaguars actually. But it depends on what the Steelers are taking. I like this. The Steelers. I want to see what the Steelers traded here. So Steelers swooped in to take Mac Jones. See, when I was messing around, I could have traded up to secure Mac Jones. So you see how hard it is to secure your quarterback. So I for my Bears, I wanted Mac Jones. Let's go ahead and accept this deal from the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're gonna move down just because I'm pissed that I didn't get Mac Jones. So I'm getting 25, and yeah, we're accepting that. I like that deal. The Jaguars have to have somebody. Sam over here. But Danny, that's not our Danny. He traded up for Mac Jones like a little snake. It's a good snake, though. It's a good move. I like it. Mac Jones learning behind Big Ben for a year, and then I like that. I like it. So good move, snake ahead of me and my Bears. Caleb Farley. The Jaguars had to come up and get Caleb Farley. I was actually, right before I clicked accept, I'm like, how is Caleb Farley still here? But I do like the Bears corners with Kyle Fuller and Jalen Johnson, but it was tough because I'm a big, just best available type guy, but it was a pretty good offer that we got there. I'm going to be able to pick again in the second round because of the Chargers pick is in where the Chargers traded back here. This is getting very entertaining. I'm loving this. Wyatt Davis, yes, they're going to need guard help. They're going to need guard help for their guy, Justin Herbert, in their running game. They want to run the ball a little more effectively here. The Titans are on the clock. Jalen Phillips would be a good pick there, but kind of backtracking. Yeah, Danny with the move of all moves, taking Mac Jones, right, swooping right ahead of the Bears. Sam taking Caleb Farley. Another great move. Here's the trade details here. Washington moved back to 24. That's pretty good. It's not that many spots. That's a pretty good deal for both. Great deal, in my opinion. We saw that was mine. I moved. If we got an extra pick. Ryan Pace likes to move up, though. That's why I should be playing GM for them instead. But I kind of blew it to Mac Jones. But is Mac Jones a guy that we're dying to have, though? That's kind of the next question. I feel like the Colts traded quite a bit already. Colts got, they're good at drafting the second round, so then they loaded up on that. Titans are up on the clock, and Jalen Phillips could be the pick. They could go J.C. Horn. They can go receiver. They can go Rashad Bateman. They go Kadarius Toney. There's a lot of options. They go Joseph Asai. Interesting one. He fits as an edge rusher in their scheme. He can almost play kind of an off the ball, I feel like. Remember the Vikings traded back. So Osai, Vrabel's defense is a little unique, I'd say. So Osai's a unique player. Vikings take Javon Marrig. I like that. They replace Anthony Harris. I like that. So pair Marrig with Harrison Smith. They traded back and still got him. I like that. The only thing I'll say on why, maybe why that won't happen is the Vikings don't really seem to value that position. They franchise tagged Anthony Harris, but they didn't really want him to sign it. They wanted to trade him, and I don't know if he wanted to sign it. And they didn't want to pay big money to it. And they kind of said that. They weren't going to pay big money for a free safety. So if they don't value it in money, do they value it in a first-round pick? That's kind of the question. Marrig is a complete prospect. He's very good, so maybe they would change their views a little bit for a guy like that. And I think he really fits their defense with Harrison Smith. I think it's a really good fit because Harrison Smith also plays free sometimes. And Marrig has even split at free and strong. So I do like the pick. Remember the Vikings moved back with the Jets, and they gained a 2022 second. They're going to have plenty of picks in this draft. So, yeah, I kind of like that for them. Recapping some of these, two different Chris's. Because you can't control more than one team in this. Chris picked Wyatt Davis, and Chris picked Joseph Asai here for the Titans. And then Irvin picked Trevon Marrig for the Minnesota Vikings. Kind of recapping all these. It started with Jamar Chase at 2. And again, I keep saying it. It's realistic, but maybe not a common pick. Super common, but it's out. People do it, and that changed everything. Falcons end up with Zach Wilson. The receiver started to fly off the board because I think the Bengals really wanted Jamar Chase. Chicago Bears are on the clock. I'm getting distracted again. Washington football team takes Kadarius Toney, wide receiver, Florida. Like that with Terry McLaurin. Let me focus on my pick. Let me focus on my Bears. Somebody gonna offer me a trade again. I'm leaning somebody. I wish I had my own board because I just know where everyone's at then. But it's gonna be very tough for me to pass on Jalen Phillips. Some really good players left. See, this is tough. It's between two players here. I like Rashad Bateman for them. Maybe an Allen Robinson replacement. Maybe we still have Allen Robinson. And that's more of a need than edge rusher because you look at the edge rush position. And I've been sent a trade. I better hurry up. Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack. Robert Quinn was a little disappointing. I'm not going to accept that. This is tough. Absolutely tough. We're gonna go Rashad Bateman here. That's my cue. Where do I make the pick? I don't even know where I make the pick. Here's my cue. I don't even know what I'm doing. It might be cut off on my screen that I'm looking at. All right, we're gonna let the time run out, and we got Rashad Bateman in our queue. I'm gonna go ahead and pick him. I think it's. I don't think they're gonna end up with Allen Robinson. If I'm the GM, I'd probably try to tag him and trade him for more picks. And I like Bateman as a replacement. I think he gets better. I think he's a little faster than Allen Robinson. I think he gets better. He actually gets better separation. Not that he's better right away, but these guys, I think he can have like a Justin Jefferson. He's not quite as good as prospect Justin Jefferson, but I think he can have that type of impact. Playing in the slot, playing outside, has that length, has the great hands, contested catchability. So you got to build this offense. Jalen Phillips is very tempting. He does have a little bit of an injury concern, a little bit. I'm not as worried as the rest of the world. But I think Rashad Bateman, helps us, head where we want to go here at the Chicago Bears. So I went that route. I definitely need to create my own board for last time so I know where everyone's at. But there's a couple linemen I really like as well. I like Jalen Mayfield for them. I think he's a plug-and-play guy at right tackle. I don't know where you make the pick at. It's probably right in front of my face, and I just don't see it. Let me ask Discord. Let me go ahead and I think I'm blind. The Browns are on the clock. Raph is picking for the Browns. We did just have two. I was part of it. Two receivers went back to back. David took Kadarius Toney for Washington. I took Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman's my fourth receiver in the class on the board when the draft starts, and plenty more of that went before me, so I'm happy with that. Browns, the clock is running down. Browns pick is in. David Collins. I think that's a pretty solid fit. I think he'll play the outside linebacker role. He'll be involved in blitzing a bit. They could use him as an edge rusher opposite of Myles Garrett, so they just help your defense in general. The guy's always around the ball. Ravens pick came in quick. Azeez Ojulari, yeah, I like that fit. Fits their 3-4 scheme, edge rush. I think you fit any scheme as an edge rusher. Some 4-3 teams might not like him on their team and their scheme, but Ojulari has reps dropping back in coverage, which he's done a pretty good job at doing. And play for the Ravens as an edge rusher, you need to be able to do that because they blitz the inside guys, and the rest, the edge when that happens, the edge guys need to drop back in coverage and some extra guys in coverage there. So, yeah. That's my trade. I was confused there. So we went a little quiet on the trades, not really, but ever since, around that range. Okay, I figured out where so there's going to be a symbol underneath the plus sign. Looks like a little mail icon. Wasn't expecting that to be trapped. Saints are on the clock. 32 seconds left. So we're doing 2 rounds of this today. We can do more in the future. I'm excited because I got 2 second-round picks for the Bears. Some Bears fans, they might want a Mac Jones. I might have blown it there. That's the crazy thing about the draft, too. Somebody can just swoop right ahead of you. Maybe we see why the Bears traded up one spot. They took the wrong quarterback. I don't have to remind the Bears fans what happened, but I'm just trying to say that's why they traded up one spot back when they did, and a few years ago. Snakes like the Steelers might come up and take Mac Jones. That's just what happens. Pick is in for the Saints. They can go multiple directions here. We'll see where they go. Dylan Moses. Wow, surprising pick. Was once thought of as a first-round prospect, got injured, came back to Bama this past year, didn't play as well after being injured. it was tough because all of a sudden I think SEC offenses just got out of nowhere, just got even more explosive looking at what Florida did. So it was harder on some of these, even the Bama defenders, even the good ones, talented ones like Dylan Moses. So I do think he's a fit with the Saints. Pair him with Demario Davis. I think it's a fit. A little early though, but who knows though? He was once for. It's a weird draft because a lot of opt-outs. I know he wasn't in that conversation, but Packers pick is in. Do they finally take a receiver? A lot of receivers came off the board. Packers select Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Okay. Yeah, I guess the question of does he fit? We're going to trade. Does he fit the Packers? The Packers did bring in a new defensive coordinator. Do they switch to it? If they switch to a 4-3, he definitely fits. But why I say maybe he doesn't fit a 3-4, Panthers knew who they wanted right away in this trade. Because he's more of an undersized, not really undersized at J.C. Horn of the Panthers, so they had to get their cornerback there. They had to come up and get him. We'll take a look at the trade details, but Owusu-Koramoah, freak athlete, great in coverage. I think they can make it work. For an inside linebacker, though, it's a little tough, but they can use him in the slot on obvious passing downs. So, they can get creative with him. Maybe they switch their defense. Maybe they do switch their defense. And we got the Panthers trade. Andreas, the Bills get second round pick 7. They get a third round pick 9 and a 2022 third. All right, okay. They might be able to get. The Bills would maybe be able to get something else, something at least small out of that, something more. But yeah, the Panthers. So Andreas for the Panthers, he didn't hesitate either time. He took Trey Lance instantly when they were on the clock, if I remember correctly, and then he traded up, and then instantly took J.C. Horn. Knew his business there. He knew what he was about. So I like it. Chiefs are on the clock, and then we got the Bucks, and then we're into round 2. I'm excited because I do have 2 second-round picks for my Bears. I wonder what we're going to get. We're trying to build that offense, but if it's somebody that's just too good to pass on defense, we might go that route. We will see. Some good players still available, as you can see here. Not my board, but Jalen Phillips. People a little scared. Jalen Mayfield. Maybe a little scared about those past concussions for Phillips. Why I'm not really that worried is because UCLA you got a few concussions in short period of time. This is a school with kids in it. You're just kids out there. You're not pros yet. You're not men yet. We've got to play it safe. We're going to have you sit. And Miami didn't play it safe, So in the NFL, they're not going to make them sit for things like that. So, Samuel Cosme to the Chiefs, yes, so they're looking out for the future, maybe right now even. But, again, the Chiefs' big reason why they lost Super Bowl is because their offensive line was depleted, and it was bad because of that. But when it's fully healthy, it's a pretty good offensive line. So they may not even need Cosme to start day one. But it's a good pick for the future there. Potential future left tackle or right, depending on who's around for the long haul. Buccaneers are picking. Super Bowl champs, last pick of the first round here. And we'll see the route they go. We're going to have some first-round talent still left here. Christian Barmore, Jalen Phillips, Jalen Mayfield, Terrence Marshall's borderline. Tevin Jenkins is kind of borderline. He's more of he's a first-round guy for the right fit. There's a lot of teams that probably wouldn't take Tevin Jenkins in the first round. It's one of those types of players. There's a lot of borderline guys here. We haven't seen a running back go yet. A lot of borderline first guys. I'm surprised Paulson Adebo's is high on the board. Borderline guy, Nick Bolton. I like Bolton. Pretty underrated. Elijah Moore is very underrated. That could be a first round guy. A lot of good players. It's a good draft class here. Good draft class. So we'll see what the Buccaneers see what they go with. 12 seconds. Bucks, gotta go Jalen Phillips. I'm sitting here just thinking about my Bears too much. I would go Jalen Phillips. I'd go Jalen Phillips if I were them. That'd be my pick. Pick is in. Buccaneers are selecting Jalen Phillips. There you go. It's an obvious pick. So they're going to add him in the mix with Shaq Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul if they got Shaq Barrett back, which I would assume they did because I think they are. And Jason Pierre-Paul's got 1 more year left in his deal. Remember the Super Bowl, they put Jason Pierre-Paul, slid him inside actually at times. That was a good strategy by Todd Bowles there and company. But, yeah, so my point is they probably can use all 3 edge rushers more than you think. But extreme talent in Jalen Phillips. Now the Jaguars are on the clock here in the second round. And see, what did they do so far? It's Sam picking for the Jaguars. He had a boring first pick because it was obvious, but now he's going to go to work here. But then that's right, they traded up to get Caleb Farley. That was a fantastic move. He traded up with me. It was a great move, both of us. Jacksonville Jaguars select Christian Barmore. I'm loving this Jags draft right now. Sam's killing it. Traded up at the right time, even offer. And then you got Barmore because the Jags need interior help. They need interior defensive line help. And they're going to get that. Christian Barmore, who's probably a first-round talent, and we see first-round talents drop all the time, especially first pick of the second round. You're basically right there. I mean, you are right there. Sam's doing a great job drafting for the Jags. I like what they're putting together there. It's realistic. It's something they definitely can do on I don't know if Caleb Farley's going to drop to 20. I can argue that he could because he did opt out. He had injuries when he did play, so maybe, but he's very talented. We'll see. The Jets select Alex Leatherwood, so they're starting to put together. Yeah, that's interesting because there's some talk about him playing guard. I actually kind of like that. He could play in this scenario. You either play right tackle or play guard. He would upgrade them either way. I kind of like that. He's not going to play left tackle because Mekhi Becton's in there, and I like me some Mekhi Becton. So the Jets, I was going to take a look at the Jets draft, see how they're doing. But first, the Falcons pick is in. Jason Away from Penn State. The Falcons go. This is the ultimate upside guy. Him and Gregory Rousseau are kind of in the same boat. Ultimate upside guys. Freak athletes, freaky strong. Just the right coaching. If they can put it together with the right coaching, which I think they will, they're going to be good. They're going to be good. I always kind of bring up Daniil Hunter. Those two kind of remind me of him, just like a raw prospect. Miami Dolphins didn't hesitate to take Terrace Marshall here. I kind of want to recap the draft, see what some of these guys did. The Dolphins just stacked their offensive line in the first round. Oh, my God. These picks are flying in. The Eagles, who are they flying in with? They got a receiver already with Jalen Waddle. Now they're taking Asante Samuel Jr. Darius Slay, Asante Samuel Jr. Like that. Like the fit here. It's a Colts coaching staff, Colts coaching tree. They ran a lot of zone coverage, specifically cover 2 in Indianapolis. They're going to run that with Philadelphia Eagles. Asante Samuel will be a playmaker in that zone coverage, opposite of Darius Slay. Love that pick. Love the fit. But the Falcons, AJJ, pick Jason Away, ultimate upside guy for Dean Pease, the new defense coordinator, on top of Zach Wilson. I like what they're doing. They're going future. That's tough because maybe these things aren't helping them a bunch right now. If they start Zach Wilson right away, Away would probably start right away, to be honest, opposite of Dante Fowler. But he might take a little bit to make an impact, but they're ready for the future as well. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. You can compete right now if you want to with these guys, and the team's going to compete. They're not going to be picking 4 again, So it's kind of for right now, but the future's looking great with these picks. The Dolphins, yeah, some people might question these offensive line picks. I love Penei Sewell, and I like Christian Darsaw, just too good to pass down here at 18. I wasn't a big Austin Jackson guy, so I don't know what happens with him in this scenario, and fans might not be happy about that pick just a year ago if this is the case. But the tackle duo with these guys is looking ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Maybe they move one to guard, but that kind of shifts somebody else out. And then they get Terrace Marshall. They still get a big-time receiver, potential first-round prospect here. I kind of like what they did. I kind of like it. People will question it. I like it. And then you got the Eagles, who took Jalen Waddle in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. Jalen took Jalen Waddle, that's right. And then Jalen took Asante Samuel Jr., who's a guy that can sneak in the first. I think he probably goes around here, ends up being a second because everyone's just obsessed with, those man coverage corners. Like, they need to be able to press. They need to be able to do this, that. Asante Samuel, I think he could do it all, but maybe he's not the greatest press or physical. Doesn't have the greatest physicality there, but he's so good at being this is a great pick right there. But he's so good at being a playmaker in specific, zone coverages. So he can drop there. I love the fit. But the Bengals will take Jalen Mayfield, who I think is the first-round pick. I think he can be a dominant guard. I also think he can be a very good right tackle, most likely a right tackle right away. So the Bengals getting Joe Burrow that help. Buffalo Bills take Nick Bolton. High motor, instinctive linebacker from Missouri, I think should be a first-round pick. The Bills grab him. Maybe they lose Matt Milano, but it'll be okay. Tremaine Edmonds and Nick Bolton there. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. That pick was part of the trade. Yeah, the Panthers, yes. The Bills move back, and they still get a first-round prospect. So you see how that works out. Sometimes you're not happy with your team. We don't get the pick in the first round now. We got to wait till tomorrow. They gain picks. They still get a first-round player, Nick Bolton. And him and Edmonds look pretty scary. But kind of going back to the Bengals, they got Devontae Smith. And now they got Jalen Mayfield. So that Junior's doing a pretty good job building that team for Joe Burrow. Whether Mayfield plays right tackle or he plays guard, it's going to be good. And they have that weapon, Devontae Smith, for Joe Burrow. And that receiver unit looks stacked. Cameron and the Lions, he's been a true GM, just making all these moves. And he's back on the clock here at 8. I think he already supposed to be on. I can't even keep track anymore. This was from the Broncos. Oh, he traded it. Okay, he traded a 2022 first round pick to get this pick. That's got to be the Rams pick. So it's a late first round pick for an early second right now. I'd say it's unlikely, but it's actually not completely out there because teams do typically trade, more value in the year after, and the Rams pick's probably going to be late, but it's very risky, very, very risky there. And the Lions traded again. That trade might have happened. Was this the one they did? That trade might have happened a little earlier. Now they traded again. The guy's crazy. Ravens pick is in. They traded up for this with the Lions. The Ravens had to have somebody. Tevin Jenkins. It's a great fit. It's very realistic they can take him in the first round, and he'll fit at right tackle because they're probably trading Orlando Brown because he wants to play left tackle. So Tevin Jenkins, the plug and play in their scheme, right tackle. So the first time we're seeing the Colts pick today. They're very good at making second-round selections, I feel. So here they are. Liam Eichenberg, so that could be their starting left tackle. It could be their guy in the first round. So 2 linemen just went back-to-back. It could be those teams' guy in the first round. They get him in the second. So recapping, we talked about Junior's doing a great job with the Bengals. Dillon traded back, still got a first-round player. Nick Bolton pairing him with Edmonds. Love the duo. Landon traded up because he saw that Tevin Jenkins was slipping through the cracks. Remember, he just picked late first, and he's like, I'm sure he's like, Ojulari's great fit, need an edge rusher. Tevin Jenkins, great fit. I'm going to go with the better overall player, and I agree with him here, Ojulari. And then he sees, okay, Tevin Jenkins is dropping too far for us not to make a move. So he makes that move, trades up, and gets Tevin. It's a great fit, and he's going to start right away. And then, so there's a good job by Landon there. Brayton with the Colts, they made some deals. They moved back, got some more picks, got a 2022 first-round pick out of it. So making moves there. And they get a guy that's going to plug and play at left tackle. I mean, he's going to come. Liam Eichenberg's going to come in and run block at a pretty high level, right off the bat, and that fits what the Colts want to do. And they're very good at developing offensive line. They got a wizard. I was going to say staff. The staff's a bunch of wizards, but how about the actual rest of the offensive line? The unit being so good, helps probably coaches, guys like this. Familiar face maybe, just because he went to Notre Dame and Quentin Nelson in there with Liam Eichenberg. So that works out. Could Cameron possibly be trading again? I'm surprised he's not the GM of the Vikings right now because what he's doing is what Rick Spielman and the Vikings do all the time over there and just constantly trade back. What has he got? He's making a pick. He's actually making his pick. Paulson Adebo, corner from Stanford. Another guy that was getting a bunch of first-round talk, even before he opted out this year. Going into last year's draft, actually. Getting some first-round talk, and he's like, he decided to go back. It was a little bit of a surprise. He goes back, but then he opts out. I'm wondering if he wished he didn't go back then. So just because of the opt-out made the first-round talk disappear, but the first-round talk was there because of the talent. So the Lions grab him. Possibly pair with Okuda. They do have Aruarie. He actually started off pretty well last year, but then he was really struggling in the back half of the year, so maybe they're not sold with him there. Adebo could be better, looking at prospect-wise, pretty close. The Niners are picking. The Niners, if you remember, they traded back and got Rashawn Slater. So is it Hooves? Hooves. Yeah, we credited him here because he traded back, again, I thought he could have, I keep talking about this, but he only traded back a little bit, but he could have got a little more, but he did a good job. Still got Rashawn Slater. I'm thinking he plays guard. I'm actually grading, for me, Slater at guard. I think he can play tackle. I'm fine with the team taking him for tackle over some other guys. I think he'd be a really, really good guard, better than at tackle. And that's what the Niners need. They need another guard there opposite of Lake and Tomlinson. Unless they lose Trent Williams for agency, then he plays left tackle, of course. So he gained picks while getting Slater. I like that. Now let's see what he does. Let's see how he's doing. Israel, okay, this is a sleeper corner from South Carolina. I don't know if he's going to go. I don't know if he's going to go in the second round. So that's an interesting one there. I like the Slater pick. He went with, so South Carolina had 2 corners taken already. So, but yeah. I think he's kind of getting overshadowed by J.C. Horn a little bit, just because his talent. So, interesting pick. Sean is on the clock. The Cowboys, I believe, they take Kyle Pitts. He took Kyle Pitts. Yeah, love the pick. Just too good to pass. Too good of a talent to pass on. And here we are. And that's what Jerry Jones and company did last year. They didn't pick off need. They didn't pick who people expect them to pick based off position. They picked the best damn available players, and I love that because these are going to be talented guys like CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs in the second round. So maybe Sean is taking a page out of their book there. Just maybe we'll see. We're going to see what he takes. And I'm picking next. I'm picking next for the Bears. These running backs are still left. Just notice that. Trying to go through this. Could use that quarterback still. Kyle Trask sitting there. Do I just load up on the receivers and go Elijah Moore, just stack the receivers? In this case, I'm kind of assuming we don't have Allen Robinson back. So we got Rashad Bateman, who plays outside and inside. Aleem McNeil, I like that pick. Sean's doing a good job for the Cowboys. Aleem McNeil is going to be a really good plug-and-play guy, really good nose tackle right off the bat. I'm trying to get back. I'm struggling here. Trying to get back to take a look at the offensive tackles available. Dylan Radunes, I think, would be a pretty good pick. I like James Hudson as well. Kind of shift through this. How much time I got? A minute. It's tough. I feel like they don't really need a guard. Trey Smith can play tackle. Dylan Radunes can play both. Looking at, I'm crazy, but I'm tempted just to stack the receivers and go Elijah Moore. He wasn't taken yet. I do like Dylan Radunes though. There, 58 seconds. I'm taking my good old time. I'm a madman. Trey Smith, I liked him at left tackle. He's just a better guard. Definitely got to make my own board for the next time. I'm doing it. I'm going for just pure value. This is the draft button. Take Elijah Moore. We're stacking the receivers. The separation from receivers on the Chicago Bears was a problem. Quarterback play was a bigger problem, but they had a tough job. I thought separation, Allen Robinson's a guy you just throw the ball up to sometimes. But that's kind of hard for quarterbacks, young quarterbacks that are kind of in their own head a little bit, let's be honest. It's tough. So we're just getting pure separation players. So in this scenario, for me drafting for the Bears, Allen Robinson's gone. We'll just say we tagged and trade him. I think that's very likely. I wouldn't want to pay him over $17 million. That's me, because look at these receivers that are cheap, and these guys get crazy separation. You can scheme plays up for them, get the ball out quick, and makes your quarterback's job a lot harder. Who's our quarterback? Yeah, that's the next problem. Maybe they figured something out in free agency, but getting Bateman and Moore, both who can play inside and out. I think Elijah Moore pretty much most time has to be inside. And then Darnell Mooney could move around a bit as well, who I like him as well. But he's an outside kind of just straight line guy, comebacks as well. the speed of this receiver unit. This turned into one of the worst receiver units in football, so I think a great young receiver unit, which is going to be hard to control there. Just too tough to pass on a guy like Elijah Moore there. I think he's a first-round pick. It's just too tough. It's back-to-back receivers. Some people probably won't like me for that, but that's what I would do. You just can't. I was thinking about Dylan Raduns there to plug in at tackle. It's just not a wow. I'm not in love with that pick. So in times like that, maybe you can trade back. But I'm also, Elijah Moore, I have a first-round grade on. Again, it's just too good to pass. Patriots are on the clock. We do get to pick again soon. And, I think the crazy thing is Moore and Bateman, I don't have too far off a grade so far with those two guys. And we got both of them here to pair with Darnell Mooney. And then our young tight end, Cole Kmet. So, it's turning into a good young group of playmakers. I really think so. It's gonna be a fast offense. It wasn't fast enough before. Patriots are selecting Carlos Basham. I think I could see fitting as a Patriot player. Kind of a hybrid defense. Sometimes their defensive end. It's more of like a 3-4 end they would like in there, and then you got Winovich on the other side. Who's more of a stand-up guy. So Basham kind of could fit that, the bigger body role there on the one side there. So the Patriots, Colin takes him. When do I pick again? 20? We're coming up. Not just build an offense with the Bears. We're just building it. Let me fix something here. All right. Kind of recapping a little bit. I haven't had too many trades. Some just past trades. These ones just happened, I guess. I kind of like Sean. I thought he was doing a really good job. Picked Kyle Pitts and Aleem McNeil, two players I really like. Aleem McNeil, again, is just day one, he's going to stop the run at a high level. He's going to be a plug-and-play left tackle type of guy. I think he has upside in terms of – that's why I like him so much because – he's so dominant stopping the run. He's a nose tackle. Well, where do you value that? Teams don't really value that much. You got to bring some interior pressure. I think he does. I think he has more upside there too. I think he has some tools to work with. He got more pressure in the pass. Kind of reminds me of Dexter Lawrence a little bit. His situation, a better prospect with Lawrence from Clemson. But yeah, he was a polished run defender. You don't got to do anything with him. You just put him in there. He's going to stop the run. And we can see there's some upside in terms of getting pressure on the quarterback. And if we get that out of him, he's really good. He's been getting some good pressure for the Giants. So I think Aleem McNeil kind of in the same boat. Like, you only can go up from where he's at, and he's already going to help you in an important way. So I like Aleem McNeil a lot. Could be a sneaky late first-round pick. But Chris is on the board with the Chargers. The Chargers have made some moves. We'll see what they did here. Travis Etienne. So the first running back's finally off the board. I kind of like this. I kind of like it a little bit. It's a little out there. But because they do have Eckler, they do have Josh Kelly and Justin Jackson, and that's a solid trio. But do they have that every down back? That guy to take the load. They don't really have that guy. They have the guys that maybe can, and they want to be able to run the ball more, so they get Travis Etienne. Only problem with that is that it might take away a little bit from Eckler because Etienne is so good at catching the ball to the backfield, and that's what Eckler's for. So if they do go this route, I'm not disagreeing with the pick, but if they do actually go this route, they may go for more of the bruiser type, which Etienne kind of could be. Maybe more of the Javonte Williams or Najee Harris that can handle and Etienne can, but that can handle the 20 to 25 carries inside while we throw the ball to Eckler. But if you get the 2-for-1 here at Etienne, that makes it even better. You become less predictable because if Eckler's in, okay, they're throwing the ball. If it's one of the bigger backs, they're running the ball. So it gets pretty predictable. They do want to be more effective running the ball. The new staff has said that, so it's very possible. So who else did the Chargers take? Tough to remember. Wyatt Davis. So yeah, they want to run the ball better. They want to protect inside, run the ball a lot better. Wyatt Davis, a really good run blocker. Travis Etienne. I just can't wait to see what people say about my 2 receiver picks for the Bears. I love it. I absolutely love it. I just think it's just fixing what was the problem, I think, in the past. Separation. And I like Mooney. I think Mooney gets good separation. But separation was a problem, and that problem is solved. It's solved before they even step on the field. Raiders made a surprising pick. They took Levi Onwuzurike a little bit ago. It's a Raiders pick, and we talked about that. We discussed it. Raiders are selecting Creed Humphrey. All right, so they're going to take Creed Humphrey. He's probably going to play guard, I'd say. Maybe they moved on from Richie Incognito. They want to upgrade the other side anyway. So there's some interesting picks for the Raiders. It's on auto draft for the Raiders, so yeah. I mean, they're kind of thinking like the Raiders would. So the Bills, I liked what the Bills have done. Yeah, I like what the Bills have done so far. They took Nick, trade back, got picks, took Nick Bolton, good value and gain picks, like I said. Bills, who they take Greg Newsome, another great value pick. Defense looking stacked right now. Absolutely looking stacked. So Greg Newsome going to start opposite of Tre'Davious White. It's another guy that could potentially be a first-round pick. Could go early second, so realistic. Yeah, and they're just going best available, it looks like, but they're also filling needs, I feel like, and just getting some really good value. Dolphins, Hawching. I don't know how to say his name. I apologize, but he's been doing I think an interesting job, I think a good job at the same time. I think we talked about it. I think people are going to take a look at the two linemen he take. Maybe they'll say they're not going to do that. Where's the receiver? But he stacks the offensive line. I think that offensive line is looking nasty. And they still get Terrace Marshall here in a second. Now he's picking again. Could this be running back? Could it be Najee Harris or Javonte Williams? I'm a huge Javonte Williams guy. I think he's actually the best pure runner. I know Harris and Etienne add the great runners, and they add a little more receiving ability than Javonte Williams to their game. But I think pure runner, Javonte Williams, I'm a huge fan, absolute huge fan. Dolphins, could it be running back? Could it be another offensive lineman? I'm kidding. Javonte Williams, there we go. I like what this guy's doing. It's a little bit outside the box, a little bit, mainly with the first round. And I like what he's doing. I like what he's doing. That offensive line can't be afraid to get better. That's when I pull that line. Because Austin Jackson, I wasn't a fan of that pick, but obviously they're a fan of him. That's the problem, I guess, with it. But you get so much better at Penei Sewell and Christian Darsaw. You just get so much better. Darsaw is a dominant run blocking tackle. Dominant. And Javonte Williams could run the football. And you got Eric Flowers and Robert Hunt inside. Hey, maybe Robert Hunt is pretty damn versatile. I wonder if he could play center. I would not rule that out. He played all over the place at Louisiana. So you possibly could roll with, just interesting, long shot probably. I've been sending a trade offer. Probably can go Austin Jackson left tackle, Darsaw right tackle, Penei Sewell, Eric Flowers, and then Robert Hunt in there. I mean, either anyway, that offensive line's looking stacked. Trades. No, I want to pick again. No, I ain't doing that. Dolphins offer me that. He's doing a good job, though. I like what he's done. Washington's picking right now. And I might be able to get Dylan Verdun still, but this is tough without knowing what happened in free agency. And we're going to do more of these again once free agency gets going. After free agency, we're going to do several of these, keeping everyone involved. Washington takes Kyle Trask from Florida, obviously, so that'll be their guy. Now I'm up. I'm a Kellen Mond guy, but this might be a little early to take Mond. Should I go another receiver? I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm probably tempting to go Kellen Mond. I like Kellen Mond. He's got familiarity with that pro style offense. He's got so much upside. Do like Dylan Verdun's. Trey Smith is still sitting there. Trey Smith can play tackle at a pretty high level, but it's a little risky. I like Kellen Mond, and that could be the guy. Can scheme things with these receivers. James Hudson, like him, we kind of doing the same thing we did last time. Kendrick Green's good, but I like him at guard. be ideal. We're not doing 3 rounds in this. We're gonna take Dylan Raduns. This mock's just 2 rounds, but it could be targeting Kellen Mond. Like let's just say we had a 3rd round pick. It probably could trade up a little bit. He could go in the 3rd round. Not for everybody, but I do like him. I would like him in this scenario with the Bears. He's got to get this tackle. Pretty good value here in Dylan Raduns. We're really building up the offensive line. So we're getting the team in place for the quarterback position. We're not going to reach for a quarterback. Again, I do like Kellen Mond, though. Wouldn't mind the pick there. But we're getting the team ready for the quarterback when the time is right. We strike. De'Ami Brown, wide receiver, North Carolina. Yeah, pretty underrated one. Definitely can go around 2 or 3 of the Colts. So they're upgrading the receiver position there with that. Kind of backtracking. David took Kyle Trask for the Washington football team, so maybe he's their starting quarterback, battle with Heineke. And he's got his teammate, that's right, Kadarius Toney. So we're building that Florida offense, that Florida connection there, and they were very powerful this year. And then Brayton, the Colts took De'Ami Brown. They also took Liam Eichenberg. So they got pretty much their biggest needs on offense, left tackle and receiver, their biggest needs on offense. The Titans are up. They took Joseph Asai, who you can get a little unique with, rushing from different spots, almost standing off the ball, which Titans like those. They got a unique defense. Sometimes they're rushing like 3 guys, only 2 down linemen. Harold Landry dropping in coverage a lot. So they got to get some guys that can be versatile, can do different things. So it kind of made sense, even though it's a little bold. It's an hour and 11 minutes video so far. I'm just going to lose my voice soon. Titans select Tyson Campbell. Yeah, I like the fit there. I like Campbell. Long, athletic, outside corner from Georgia. I think he's starting to lose some buzz. I think because he didn't get a bunch of interceptions or anything. He's not a big playmaker. But if you watch him on film, I see some upside as a playmaker. I see his ability to, when in zone coverage, and he can play man because he's physical, athletic, long. He's got the traits. But I see him kind of reading the quarterback, kind of shift out of his zone where he knows where the ball is going. That means you got some playmaker instincts and you got upside as a playmaker. So the knock on him, I guess you can understand at first glance why people are saying it, but I'm not really into that much. So he's the guy that could go late first because of the playmaking upside. I like that for the Titans. I like that for the Titans there. Chris doing a good job for them. Again, some people, he took Joseph Asai, if I'm not mistaken. Some people might say it's a little early. He's a unique player because I think he's more than just an edge rusher. There's been times where they would stunt him almost. A lot of those Big 12 teams, including Texas State, they stunt a lot. And, he would make, just square up, make some good plays. Sometimes he would line up on the inside too. And he just, I don't know, just something about him. I kind of get the feeling that he could play off ball, if he needed to. So I think that helps the Titans there. Seahawks are picking. It's their first pick for them. This is a computer-controlled pick. Nobody really was an appealing team because they didn't have a first-round pick, obviously. See what we got here, though. I'm definitely looking forward to kind of sorting some guys out. My actual board isn't final, though. We're locked in free agency content right now, big time. So I've watched a bit of film. And I watch live games, so any of my rankings are based on that so far, but things will change because I still got to go through a lot. And we got the pro days coming out, which won't mean a whole bunch to me, but it means something. Specific players, mainly the quarterbacks, not a whole bunch. Seattle Seahawks select Quincy Roche, edge rusher from Miami. Reminds me of the Darrell Taylor pick a little bit last year. It's the same style players, so that it'll be interesting. We'll see if Darrell Taylor will step up. Roche is super athletic off the edge. People worry about his length a little bit, but he's super athletic. Really good stop and run. He's not going to get fooled by, misdirection or read option, things like that. So I do like him. I don't know if they would run him and Taylor, though. Maybe Taylor, there's a little bit of concern, injury concern, but we'll see. Steelers pick is in. This Danny picking the Steelers, not our Danny. That's part of our channel, but Landon, he's doing a good job. He's got the Bama team. He's doing a great job. The Danny guy just traded ahead of me to get Mac Jones, and then ahead of the Bears and myself, who's playing GM for the Bears. And now we got Landon Dickerson, who was Mac Jones' center. I love what he's done. Look what Danny's done here. He's necessary trade up, in my opinion. We just hope they kind of figured out the offensive line situation in free agency. That's the only downside, but that doesn't mean they have to draft offensive line. They can't do this. So I like what he's done. It's looking great. It's looking great. Landon Dickerson's going to start at center right away. He also can play guard, nasty blocker no matter what. And they'll like him at center. Pouncey retiring. Rams are on the clock. AI controlled. First time they are picking in this mock draft. I'm excited when we do more of these in the future, see how different it is. Different people will probably be involved. We can switch up teams a little bit. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting here. See if there's any NFL news. You always got to check it out. Not much going on. There's like random days where a bunch of roster cuts happen, and that days are just dead. But we're about to heat up here very soon. Free agency around the corner. Franchise tags are happening here shortly. But the Rams on the clock, 25 seconds. Wish the computer would just make a pick right away. I'm kind of sad that I'm done picking. But we filled it. The offense is looking better. Just need a quarterback. I would assume they would establish it, something in free agency. But again, when we do these after free agency, we'll know, a little more, obviously. Could be a little more accurate. Rams are finally making their pick. Pick is in. Could be anything. They could use offensive line. They could use a whole bunch on defense to get a bunch of free agents. Wow. So they're going to go with the Duke edge rusher, Demukajay. Something Grumpf is their better pass rusher. But the computer's making some interesting picks. Yeah, so I'm not really in love with that. They may lose Leonard Floyd, so yeah, going edge rush. Maybe even with Leonard Floyd, they could use another one, but may make some sense there. Get Aaron Donald, who's on the D-line, some help. Raff picking for the Browns. Browns picked Savin Collins. Yes. Need linebacker help. Guy that's always swarming the ball. Can do multiple different things. You can use him off the ball. You can rush him off the edge opposite of Myles Garrett. Could be fun to watch there. So see what the Browns do this time. Got to be sticking defense. Cornerback. What kind of cornerbacks are on the board still? Calvin Joseph didn't get drafted yet, right? Aaron Robinson. Trying to think top of my head. So we'll see what they go with here. And the Giants will be up next. The Giants took Micah Parsons last time. They can go edge. They can go offensive line. Maybe they go Kellen Mond. Maybe they do that. Do I try to trade up for Kellen Mond? We kind of agreed as a group don't offer the trades to the robots, to the AI teams, because they accept pretty much anything sometimes. For the Bears, I could trade up for Kellen Mond, but I don't know. Picked 19th overall in the third round. Yeah, I would wait a little bit. I would like Mond in that group with that group though. Would love his athletic ability. He has the traits. Got the arm strength. He's got to put it together. He has those flashy moments. Then he has the very disappointing moments. Browns pick is in. Who they pairing with Zaven Collins? They're pairing Marvin Wilson. So they're going to pair him up with Sheldon Richardson there on the defensive line. That looks pretty good. Defensive line's looking pretty good, especially if you're playing Collins at end. Maybe that even looks even better, if you want to play him there. So Raff doing a good job for the Browns. I'm actually losing my voice. Wild. Timothy picking for the Giants. He picked Micah Parsons, was a good pick, made a lot of sense. Because they need guys that stop the run inside, just fill in that inside linebacker role, but also kind of upgrades things in multiple ways. Because like we said, he's a really good blitzer. You can actually rush him off the edge as well. So it upgrades multiple things there. So do they go? Maybe gotta go offensive line here. You can go receivers project. So they go actual edge rusher here. Patrick Jones, the second. So that defense is going to be. It was really good last year. So Patrick Jones. And maybe, Lorenzo Carter on the other side, and inside, Micah Parsons and Blake Martinez looking pretty good. So that's pretty good upgrade. Patrick Jones also can probably play on the actual defensive line if you need him to as well. I'd prefer him off the edge, though. So that was the pick there. Saints, it is an AI-controlled team. The Saints took... Who did the Saints take? I skipped past it. Saints took Dylan Moses, which is surprising. Yeah, these robots are making surprising picks. And Saints took... I had to pause the recording there for a second. Saints took Davion Nixon, defensive tackle from Iowa, 3 technique specialist there. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, actually. A pick that the computer took that made sense, I thought. Potential Sheldon Rankins replacement. So I think that's a pretty good pick. Makes some sense. Quincy picking for the Packers. And let's see what they got. Who the Packers took? I already forgot who they took. Oh, that's right. They took Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, a little bit of a wild card pick. He's just too good to pass. They'll probably use him in different ways if that's the case. Keep him, probably put him in a slot on 3rd and long, passing situations. Receiver, corner, defensive line, win rule out offensive line. Packers fans in this case probably would hope they would go receivers. A lot of receivers felt like came off the board. I'm responsible for that. Picking for the Bears. Pick is in. The Packers are selecting Tylan Wallace. I like the fit. I like Tylan Wallace with Green Bay. I think they'll like him too. Kind of like that Will Fuller. They tried to trade for Will Fuller. Similar. Will Fuller's a little shiftier, a little faster. Tylan Wallace did run just under 4.4 at his workout. He's an impressive dude. Really good route runner, really good footwork, home run ability. Not afraid to try to lower his shoulder, run somebody over. The Packers will like him. I like that pick. That pick makes they've had really good value picks. Owusu-Koramoah, people will question if he fits or not, and that'll be a question leading up until he plays. Maybe they're switching schemes though. They got a new defensive coordinator. I wouldn't really recommend it, though. I like Zadarius Smith mainly. He's like kind of the key to the defense, how it's ran, their scheme. I like him mainly in their current scheme. But these are really good value picks, and I think Tylan Wallace is also a really good fit. Jacob picking for the Cardinals. This was another trade. This was part of the Bills trade. So the Bills, they traded up for Greg Newsome. That's right. Okay, so they traded back for Nick Bolton, and they traded up for Greg Newsome. So they got 2 guys that I think could be first-round talents in the 2nd round. They had to give up a little bit here, but that's okay. I think they did a good job there. Jacob picking for the Cardinals. The Cardinals, was their only pick. Yeah, they had a surprising Kwity Paye pick, but that could be interesting. They could possibly play him in the 3-4 end spot, and then we'll see if they get Hassan Reddick back. But Chandler Jones, Hassan Reddick, and then even Kwity Paye, all 3 at the field at the same time. Just upgrading that pass rush in general. So we'll see what the Cardinals do here. Then we got Chiefs and Bucks. And that will be it. It's a long video, but it's a lot of fun. And it's getting dark in this room. You can see behind me, the green screen's kind of freaking out. Ronnie Perkins. What's with the edge rushers? He's going with the edge rush. So Ronnie Perkins would actually play off the edge. So I'm assuming Hassan Reddick isn't back in this scenario. It would be Ronnie Perkins and Chandler Jones off the edge, and Kwity Paye possibly could play that 3-4 end position because how strong he is, his power, his ability to stop the run. Their pass rush would be pretty damn nasty. It'd be pretty damn nasty, but they still could use people probably, maybe they handle things in free agency. Who knows in this scenario? But corner, maybe offensive line, maybe receiver, but I like the players he took. I really like the players. The pass rush is looking nasty. Trying to remember, yeah. So Jacob thinking outside the box there a little bit. And then we got the Chiefs. And these are, and that's it. That wraps up the mock. I thought, kind of looking through this, who did I think? We can take a look at all these real quick. We just talked about the Cardinals, so interesting picks. The Falcons took... I kind of like this because this could help right now. It also helps the future, which the Falcons are they're dipping their toe in a little bit of both. They're trying to win right now, but we do got to look at the future. So I do like that. Ravens, I love these fits. I like what Landon did a lot here. Great fits, needs at the same time. Traded back up because he saw Tevin Jenkins. I like what Landon did a really good job here. We were talking about AJJ did, yeah, like I said, that kind of made sense. The Bills, they got Dylan here got two potential first-round players in the second round, so I do like what they did there, what he did there. Panthers, they didn't have a second-round pick because they traded up for J.C. Horn. They saw J.C. Horn dropping. He was available at 30. I like what they did. We'll see who it was. Andreas from the Panthers. I like what they did as well. I like Trey Lance. Trey Lance is, man, my green screen's really bad. All right, Rashad's got a bunch of upside there. Hold on a second. I didn't think this draft was going to go for this long. Did not think it was going to go for this long. We got dark out, need to turn the light on, but we're working. Panthers, yeah, I like Trey Lance. I think some people are talking about he's got to sit, and I'm sure that'll benefit him, but I think he's one of those guys you plug and play. It's going to be a problem with his running ability. He can throw downfield. And they get J.C. Horn, who's a really good corner, obviously. Could go much earlier than that. So I liked what Andreas did here a lot. I went a little wild with the receivers with the Bears. Also got an offensive tackle traded, so he got an extra pick there. This offense got a lot faster. They get a lot more separation from the receiver position. We're getting ready for the quarterback. We don't want to force the quarterback situation. We're not forcing anything. Once this team finds that quarterback, it's going to be good. It's going to be scary. Bengals Jr. took Devontae Smith and got Jalen Mayfield in the second round. People will question Devontae Smith. Is it too much like Boyd? Is it too much? Can we use both of them? I'm sure they can make it work. It's a good value pick, especially with Jalen Mayfield. Browns, Zay McCollum, Marvin Wilson. Yeah, so Raff buffing the defense here. Some fits makes sense there. Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I love what Sean did. We talked about that. Kyle Pitts, best available, top 3 on my board. That offense is scary if healthy. Maybe the best, really, could be the best in football. Lee McNeil, I'm a big Lee McNeil fan. Plug-and-play guy, has upside. He only can go up. He's going to be good stopping the run. He only can get better rushing the passer. Broncos, they traded away their second pick. Made some interesting moves. Gregory Sue is a surprising pick. Freakish upside there, though. The Lions made a lot of trades, got Justin Fields, who might be an upgrade over Jared Goff, and then is the draft over? I didn't see who went. We'll see in a little bit. Rondale Moore, maybe a little early, but some good players there for Cameron and the Lions. Packers, yeah, people will question the fit with JOK. Love Tylan Wallace. I love these players. I just love both those players. They got some dogs. Those guys are dogs right there. Why did I click on the Texans? Colts, 2 second-round picks. That's kind of what they're known for, making some big-time second-round picks. Liam Eichenberg, De'Ami Brown. So Brayton did a pretty good job there, even without a first-round pick. Jags made a trade. I really liked what Sam did here. Trevor Lawrence is obvious. Sam doesn't get any bonus points there for that one, but it's the right pick. And he saw that Caleb Farley was dropping. He traded up and got him. Loved Caleb Farley, C.J. Henderson. Wow, that's a duo. That's a duo. And then Christian Barmore dropped right in his lap, and where it's a huge need and a big-time player. Really like what Sam did here. Yeah, there's quite a few people that I like what they did. Chiefs was a robot, so forget the Chiefs, but they got Cosme and Rashad. Chargers, Wyatt Davis, Travis Etienne. A little bit outside the box here for Chris, but makes sense of what the direction they want to go in. Rams was a robot. Raiders was this Raiders picks right there. Let me tell you, there's a robot though. Dolphins again. I liked what I gotta know how to say your name. Hanching. I don't know how to say his name. I apologize. Stacked the offensive line. Got a good receiver that can go in the first round. Terrence Marshall. I love me some Javonte Williams. This team got a lot better with this on offense, obviously. So I really liked what he did. Looking at the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, they didn't have a second-round pick. They traded back and got Trevon. I like the fit with Mareg there. I think he fits really well with Harrison Smith. So Irvin did a pretty good job there. Was realistic because the Vikings love to trade back. Patriots, like these picks. Elijah Vera Tucker, Carlos Basham Jr. So Colin did a solid job. I think those are solid picks there. Saints was a robot. Interesting picks made in the first round. Well, really, not so much the second one, just the first round. Giants, yeah, Timothy got Mike Parsons, Patrick Jones, so just upgrading the defense. added a lot more pass rush with this. Even though Mike Parsons specifically isn't really a pass rusher, he adds that to his game. So that defense is going to be scary good. Offense might be a little bit of a question still. Jets, yeah, riding with Sam Darnold. I'm not a fan of that, but you look at the players he added. I love the players that he added. Jamar Chase, best receiver in the class, one of the best I've ever scouted. Patrick Surtain, they got him at 14, made the move to make that happen because he just needed that corner. Hopefully not another D. Milliner situation. I don't think it will be. But yeah, upgrade that corner. So important. Alex Leatherwood, who could be a dominant guard for them, or they could play right tackle. I really like the players. 3 players they added, fantastic. I would make sure I get Zach Wilson. If it's me, I make sure I get Zach Wilson. If it's me. Eagles, Jalen takes Jalen Waddle, Asante Samuel. I like these picks. Explosiveness with Waddle and Rager, the speed. Asante Samuel's a really good fit. He's going to be a playmaker in that scheme, especially with that front 7 helping him, create for him. Steelers, yeah, Danny did a fantastic job. He swooped right in front of me and got Mac Jones. I was going to take Mac Jones for the Bears. So, yeah, that he kind of ruined my whole plan. I could have Mac Jones, and I ended up trading back, though. I could have Mac Jones and Elijah Moore, I believe, or Mac Jones and Dylan Radoon. So, yeah, I kind of like how I ended up with the Bears. Fantastic job by Danny. I thought he really understood what was going on here in the draft, knowing when he needed to come up, make a move. Got Landon Dickerson to pair. He did a great job. Seahawks, Quincy Roche was a robot. Interesting pick. 49ers, Rashawn Slater, an interesting pick there in the second round. I love the Rashawn Slater pick. Trade back, got him, good fit at guard. Could be a dominant guard. Buccaneers were a robot. They ended up with Sean Wade at the end. So, yeah, that was a robot pick. Titans, Joseph Aside, Tyson Campbell. Yeah, maybe a little early for Aside, but I think it's a really good fit there. I like Tyson Campbell. Love that pick. And then Washington football team took the Florida duo, Kadarius Toney, Kyle Trask. So David did a good job there. I don't think I said who was this. This was Chris. Did it happen there. And we had David that made it happen here with the Florida duos. So I like that. Yeah, this went on long enough, but I had a blast doing this. I think we'll have different teams next time. Maybe more of you can kind of get involved. We can run through more of these, constantly. But the ones that'll be in videos will involve the people that are signed up with the 4th tier on our Patreon. Link in the comments for that. If you just want to sign up for this website, use code GOATHOUSE, 20% off. But that's going to do it. Follow us on Twitter to get in contact with us instantly and just keep up to date with us as well. That's going to do it, though. Thanks. Really had a blast doing this. But yeah, again, thanks for watching. Goodbye.